Dooby scoop gnu. 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 Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be playing some more geometry. And hopefully today I'll get so mad I'll rip all my hair out from my scalp. So guys, today I'm going to be playing Deadlocked. But then I'm going to be playing some recent time. Oh my god, why is it taking so long? Why is it taking so long? Oh, wee. It is Patty. Okay, it's going faster now. Oh, wee. Hit this Patty. I don't care, Geode. I said deadlock, not stereo fartness. Why do I have Fitbox? Oh, bro. Oh my god. Why am I so laggy? Do I have VSync on? No, I don't. What is happening? I'm so. Do I for real have to put low detailed mode on? Oh my, why am I so laggy? Why is that on? Accurate save copy hack. I'll just use that. Oh my, I'm lagging. Yeah, I'm not beating that. Like, I'm literally on 2 and low detail mode did nothing. Do I need to restart Geometry Dash? I know why. It's not because of my PC, it's because I have OBS Studio open, and for some reason, it just doesn't work. So, I am just gonna watch. Yep. Terrifying weather videos by Rich Lab. Trying to think. What should I react to? So we've watched the Hackleberg. We have not watched. We have not watched. Here, let's watch the El Reno. El Reno. So I don't think I've actually watched this before. So we're gonna watch Sky Whisper, the tornado that changed science, El Reno 2013. So make sure to go subscribe. And if you want to watch this yap free, just Okay, so apparently I've watched a little bit of this one, but it's probably before it even formed. Hopefully. So make sure to go subscribe.
May 31st, 2013. What began as a routine tornado chase turned into something entirely different.
Probably going to get larger and larger and larger.
Look at that monster. This is a huge tornado.
In a matter of minutes, the storm would grow to a record 2.6 miles wide.
Hold on, brothers. Hold on. Everybody jump, go. Just keep going if you can. Keep going if you can. Everybody jump. There's a tornado.
Tornado right in front of me.
The situation spiraled out of control faster than anyone could have imagined. But Oklahoma knew tornadoes better than anyone. May 3rd, 1999, a shocking tornado swept over the city at speeds exceeding 250 miles per hour, with a staggering span for that time, over 4 miles across. However, the record was never officially registered on the ground. The storm left a path of destruction less than 2 miles wide. The rest of the vortex churned above the ground. The rest of the giant raged in the air. 5 years later, nature was ready to raise the bar once again. May 22nd, 2004. An F4 tornado in Nebraska carved a 54-mile path in under 2 hours. A true catastrophe occurred in the small town of Hallam. The storm expanded to a gigantic size and leveled entire blocks to the ground, leaving behind what was officially the widest path of destruction in history, 2.5 miles.
And it was the darkest night I've ever experienced. I mean,
Oh, you can't even see it either. Oh, that's...
you couldn't even see clouds. It was so black.
9 years and 9 days. The morning of May 31st, 2013 in Oklahoma began deceptively. But meteorologists at the Storm Prediction Center could already see that beneath this calm, something unimaginable was brewing, ready to explode in just a matter of hours. At 3:30 p.m., experts issued a warning. Particularly dangerous situation, tornado watch.
It's just, I don't know, I always use the word like percolating. It's just kind of doing the same thing over and over and over, and then eventually these things will turn into probably some really, really big storm.
Reserved for only the most extreme conditions, meaning the sky was preparing to strike. Around 4 p.m., along U.S. Highway 81, supercells began to form one after another.
There's a developing wall cloud out there with that storm. The base just continues to get stronger and stronger with that thing.
At 5:33 p.m., the Weather Service issues a tornado warning. Oklahoma City TV channels cancel all programming and begin broadcasting live.
Right, I believe it's going to be right back in there, Gary. That's where we're looking. We just can't see it due to the heavy amount of rain that this thing is throwing out, and a lot of...
Say bless you. Now. Say bless you where I am in the video. Thank you.
A lot of hail in this too, Gary.
Hundreds of thousands of people stare at their screens, where radar shows a giant supercell. It is located south of Interstate 40. It is moving east. At that moment, dozens of storm chasers headed out into the field. Scientists with mobile radars, television crews, and amateur chasers. One of the first to set out for the intercept was the Twistex team, led by Tim Samaras. He devoted 20 years to storms and became the first to place sensors directly in a tornado's path. Tim's major scientific breakthrough came in 2003 in South Dakota. A probe deployed just 82 seconds before impact recorded a historic pressure drop of 100 millibars, earning the team a place in the Guinness World Records. Joining Tim on his way toward the tornado were his 24-year-old son, Paul, and renowned meteorologist Carl Young. Their routine ran like clockwork, precise calculations, the intercept, dropping the probe right in the tornado's path, and a rapid getaway. Every single step was calculated. The supercell was under control. They knew everything there was to know about storms. But this monster was preparing to play by its own rules.
There's a tornado.
Tornado right in front of it.
And it was about to turn their massive experience into a deadly trap. At 6:03 p.m., 8 miles southwest of El Reno, the storm cloud dropped sharply, and a tornado touched down.
Dude, that touched down like instantly. And little did they know that would turn into the biggest tornado and possibly one of the strongest.
At first, it was just a few small vortices violently swirling around the center. The tornado was moving southeast at about 25 miles per hour, rapidly gaining strength. 6:09 p.m. Steadily gaining strength, the tornado continues its eastward path. Most storm chasers consider its trajectory predictable and regroup to take up new positions. Tim Samara's team turns east, heading deeper into the network of local dirt roads, trying to outrun the vortex and get into position to deploy their scientific probes. However, the funnel cloud expands by the second, and meteorologists realize the storm is spinning out of control.
You can kind of see the dirt and everything off kind of going up in there. So if anything's on the ground, Gary, I believe it's right in there, but it's going to be rain wrapped. This is the most dangerous tornado you can have because you can't see it coming at all.
The situation looks so critical that one TV meteorologist advises viewers, get in your cars and evacuate south. Thousands of terrified residents rush to evacuate the city. With each passing minute, however, the situation grew more critical. Major roads and highways quickly gridlocked with hundreds of vehicles. In their frantic attempt to escape danger, people were unwittingly driving themselves straight into a deadly trap.
This thing is probably going to get larger and larger and larger. Huge rotation. It's opening up to the south. Moisture is going to flow more into this thing, and it's going to be very, very significant.
6:13 p.m. Right in the tornado's path are storm chasers like Mikey Gribble and Matt Gowley. They thought they were keeping a safe distance, but within seconds, they find themselves trapped right in the epicenter.
I kind of fell into a sense of awe and wonderment, completely extinguished my fear. And all I could think of were my kids. I kissed them goodbye in my mind's eye. And I'm thinking, at any moment, we're about to be picked up and just tossed through the field.
Instantly, the wind shatters the windows. The tornado pulls the car backward with such violence that it simply cannot accelerate. The back end is already sliding into the ditch, and rocks rain down into the cabin. Only a miracle saves them. At the very last second, the storm turned sharply to the north, allowing the vehicle to break free from its clutches. At around 6:15 p.m., the tornado began to act completely unpredictably. Its trajectory shifted violently. The vortex veered off its eastward path and began cutting a complete loop.
Guys, that's it. Right there. There's the tornado. We are just north of Union City, south of El Reno, south of I-40. Cops have blocked off 81 at this point and not letting traffic go southbound because the path of the tornado could come right over top of Union City or pass very close to it. Look at that monster. This is a huge tornado.
People who thought they were safe just minutes ago suddenly found themselves directly in the crosshairs. On Southwest 15th Street, William O'Neill was driving, a Vietnam veteran whose claustrophobia had driven him to refuse his neighbor's bunker and try to outrun the storm instead. Beside him in the car was his granddaughter's fiancé. The tornado caught up to them, flipping the vehicle through the air multiple times. For William, the impact was fatal, but the young man beside him miraculously survived. Right behind them, the black wall of the tornado swallows Dustin Bridges' pickup truck. For him, this path would also prove fatal. Just a bit further down the exact same road was Richard Henderson. He wasn't a professional chaser. He had simply decided to drive out and see the tornado with his own eyes. The man managed to text this photo to his friend. It would be his final message. The tornado took Richard Henderson's life before shifting back to the southeast.
The tornado looks like it's on the ground, and it is just near or just east of Highway 81, south of El Reno. And let me tell you what, it is strong rotation.
6:20 p.m., growing to unimaginable scale.
Dude, if I saw that, I would probably just accept my fate, bro.
The monster closed in on Highway 81, where, at the very moment, a Weather Channel crew was positioned. In one of the SUVs sat meteorologist Mike Betts, along with driver Austin Anderson. and a cameraman. They were tracking the tornado from what then
The loops.
appeared to be a safe distance. But then, everything changed.
Hold on, brothers. Hold on. Everybody duck, go. Just keep going if you can. Keep going if you can. Everybody duck down. Everybody duck down.
One of the subvortices slammed into the side of the SUV. The vehicle was ripped from the ground and tossed nearly 200 yards across a field. Despite the sheer violence of the impact,
That doesn't sound like too far, but that's the difference between. Okay, what am I saying? That's like a quarter. Okay, I don't know. I don't know yards, bro. But that's actually kind of fun.
all three survived.
You can hear pebbles and stones and pieces of farm building and corrugated steel and crap hitting the side of the vehicle. And you're talking to yourself, and I'm there and I'm talking. You're not going home in a plastic bag. You're not going home in a plastic bag.
Around 6:23 p.m., the monster crosses U.S. Highway 81, just south of El Reno. At this exact moment, the tornado expands to its maximum width, nearly 2.6 miles, nearly 46 football fields wide. It breaks the record previously held by the Hallam, Nebraska tornado. But the greatest danger was
That tornado, that's probably the next one I'm going to react to. I've heard of that.
the sheer size itself. The visible funnel concealed the true and bone-chilling scale of the catastrophe.
A massive circulation. The wind speeds on Doppler radar continue to be something like I really have never seen before. So this is a tremendously strong.
Oh my God, it's pulling up.
At that very moment, the Twistex team is trying to escape the storm along rural roads southeast of El Reno. It seemed they were already well clear of the danger zone, but it was nothing more than an illusion. The Twistex team was already inside a deadly trap. The tornado made a sharp, unpredictable turn. At that exact second, another storm chaser, racing to outrun the advancing tempest, captured Tim's car on his rear dash cam, just as it was swallowed by the storm. Death was instantaneous. The Chevrolet Cobalt was launched into the air and flipped multiple times, tearing the metal apart and scattering equipment before being completely crushed in a field. Tim Samaras, his son Paul, and Carl Young were killed instantly. May 31st, 2013 became the first documented case.
This is proof, no matter how experienced you are, you can still fail at something. Even if you're the most experienced, which they were the most experienced back then.
Of a tornado, killing professional storm chasers.
You can't predict tornadoes. You can't predict weather perfectly. Like, with stuff now, we could have predicted this better, but not perfectly, because we probably couldn't really predict it any better than we could back then.
Chasers, men who knew these storms inside and out.
Why am I saying he? Or what? We? Because, yeah, I'm not even in the storm prediction center or anything.
And knew how to outmaneuver every unpredictable turn of nature. But El Reno was unique. Inside its gargantuan funnel, smaller, hyper-aggressive subvortices rotated erratically. They essentially materialized out of nowhere, moving far faster than the parent storm. It was one of these stealthy, treacherous vortices that left the scientists without a single chance. Meanwhile, at 6:24 p.m., Just a few miles southwest of the tornado, Professor Howard Bluestein's team was monitoring the storm using the Raxpol mobile radar. The instruments registered data that left meteorologists
296 miles an hour.
reeling. Inside the vortex, wind speeds exceed.
I don't know. I'm guessing under 300. I'm just saying 290 something. I said 296 or something.
300 miles per hour, with updated data clocking them at a staggering 313 miles per hour. It remains as one of the highest wind speeds ever measured on Earth. Around 6:26 p.m., the tornado began shifting northeast, heading straight toward Interstate 40.
But this tornado was already formed and looks like it's changing direction and coming back toward me again. Oh yeah, it's full-fledged now. Everybody's running from the wrong direction. They're all going in the wrong direction in every place. The tornado is just, it's almost right on top of us.
Sometimes, the monster passes you by, but a bridge during a tornado is a deadly trap. The concrete only makes the wind faster, turning debris into projectiles that hit you at full force. Around 6:29 p.m., the giant crosses the interstate, tearing through the massive Oklahoma City West livestock market and completely destroying several nearby farms. The tornado does not slow down. It barrels forward into the Canadian Valley Technology Center campus. Within seconds, 7 out of the 9 buildings are reduced to rubble. Shifting direction once again, the monster bore down on Interstate 40, packed with cars going nowhere. Miles of gridlocked traffic had become a deadly trap. 26-year-old Maria Paul Martin was driving with her husband and their 3 children. Their youngest son, Ray, was just 2 weeks old. As the tornado closed in, she softly whispered, "My love, we're going to die." Seconds later, the vortex engulfed their minivan. The car itself was thrown into a field. Maria Paul Martin and her infant son did not survive. Her husband and 2 older children suffered injuries, but lived.
Dude, that's just sad. She knew it too. At least she knew she was gonna die. 'Cause I would rather die knowing I was gonna die than die not knowing I was gonna die.
Tornado was on a direct collision course with a mile of gridlocked cars. Disaster seemed absolute and inevitable, but just steps away from the interstate, the tornado suddenly lost its strength. Briefly moving northeast across open country, the tornado began lifting off the ground near Banner Road. At 6:43 p.m., it finally dissipated. Exactly 40 minutes had passed since the moment of its birth. But this anomalous storm refused to follow the standard script. It was already preparing a new catastrophe for the residents of Oklahoma. The supercell that spawned the hypergiant forged ahead toward Oklahoma City. In its wake, new, weaker tornadoes closed in, accompanied by a wall of torrential rain that transformed roads into raging rivers within minutes, cutting off any remaining escape routes.
Another tornado on the ground at Cemetery Road and South 50th. It's on this western.
Oh man. Here goes the ref.
There's I-35, Gary. That is a parking lot. If this thing passes over I-35, it's just going to be disastrous again. These people need to get off the highway.
On I-40, rescue crews were pulling people straight from cars as the raging currents swept them off the pavement, transformed into a full-blown disaster zone. In total, the El Reno tornado carved a path of over 16 miles. Officially, it was classified as an EF3, even though mobile radars recorded wind speeds well within EF5 territory. Because the vortex...
How is it only EF3? Like, if they know it was 300 miles an hour, they should have made that EF6, bro. Like, it doesn't exist, I know. They should have made that.
Vortex moved mostly across open country. Experts ultimately lacked the structural damage needed to legally gauge its true, devastating power. The El Reno tornado claimed 8 lives, every single one of them killed inside their vehicles. Meanwhile, the severe weather in central Oklahoma claimed another 13 lives. More than 150 residents were injured, while tens of thousands of homes and businesses were left entirely without power. Only months later, in the fall of 2013, analysis from the Doppler on Wheels radars revealed a shocking truth. As the Twistex team desperately tried to outrun the storm, a powerful and erratic subvortex, completely cloaked behind a dense curtain of rain, swept directly over their position. This invisible killer was churning at 175 miles per hour, instantly cutting short the lives of the researchers. Meteorologists are certain the conditions that spawned this monster will inevitably return. The only questions left are
Yeah, the only questions left are where, when, and how.
where it'll touch down next, and whether we
Yeah, like, it's crazy that it's gonna happen again.
will be ready when it does.
Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. And make sure, like I said at the start, go subscribe to Sky Whisper. I'll link his content and channel down below in the description. So if you want to go, if you watch to the end, go subscribe to him and maybe subscribe to me. And anyway, bye. Have a good day, good night, whatever time it is for you. Good day. Have a good day or a good night. Bye. Oh my god, it's not working. Have a good day or good night.